Were we expecting to be top of the league at this point? No, we weren't, to be honest. But, you know, I wasn't expecting my third child either. But sometimes when you're having a good time, these things happen.
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više. Jarune.
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on the Impossible Dreamer. I think that's how I was told it was said, that J should sound like a Y. Today we have two games. We have what is a top of the table clash against a team that I can't say. And then we've got a cup game, first round of the cup against another team that I can't say. But I'll get better as we go. I just wanted to, before we get into a recap of the games, just have a quick look at how the club is standing. We're September 23rd in game now, so we're like a month and a half, 2 months into our reign. And we did get a cash injection of 110 grand from the board. So that explains why we've suddenly got all this money. We don't actually have money at all. We've lost 33 grand this month alone. But the board is propping us up, which is good though, that they're going to keep putting money in. The one downside, you can see here, any transfer revenue, it's basically gone. So we've got to bear that in mind, that we're not selling players to be able to reinvest the money in the squad. We're selling players to keep us out of administration. Now, if we have a look at the dynamics and see how things are developing there, I am getting a little bit of club support, which is all player support, which is good. The team cohesion, though, is still quite poor. The hierarchy, we still don't have any leaders. There's only the one player that opposes me now, which is annoying because it's arguably our best player, but he'll come around hopefully, and if he doesn't, he's off at the end of the year anyway. And the social groups are still roughly where they were, so that again is absolutely fine. Now there are 4 games I think that catch you up on, so let's do that, starting with our first game against Sesvete. We'll go with that. We took an early lead when Huljic crossed for Kukovica, but Sesvete were level in first half stoppage time before Boskovic played in Al Ghul to put us back ahead. So Al Ghul, the player that opposes me, of course, with the winning goal there. It was a game that we deserved to win. We had more possession, we had more shots, and again, defensively, we're just not quite where I'd want us to be, but it's, with early days in the series, so there is going to be time for us to get better. They did go down to 10 men once we were 2-1 up. We possibly could have and should have got another goal just to seal it, but ultimately we just wanted to make sure we won the game. So that was good. Another 3 points, absolutely flying. And we had a game now against Zins. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. We fell behind midway through the first half, but we got level when Prenic picked out Radjakovic. Strinsky? Would we say Strinsky is how we pronounce that? Anyway, draw was fair in this one. XG was roughly even. They probably just shaded it, but we did have more chances, even if we didn't make them good chances. I went with Radjakovic, who got the winner here in place of Ibanez. Ibanez has just not been doing well. So yeah, captain is on the bench. The young kid comes in and scores the winner. Or the equaliser, I should say. So, yeah, very, very pleased with that. Next up, it was against a team called Croatia something. We fell behind after 20 minutes. Vikinic pulled us level after half-time, and then put us ahead, before Pjanic found Al Ghul for our third. But Croatia Shemavji pulled... they pulled one back. I tried. I have no idea how you say that. Yes, Mizhavsi. Hopefully I get better at this. Anyway, the centre-back, Bikenic with a double. Very, very nicely done. And the second half, we were much, much better. First half, you can see on the XG tracker here, now we are the team in blue, I think. Yeah. I mean, we were arguably the better team, but didn't really do anything. But second half came out of the gates and, just kind of blew them away, which was brilliant. So another 3 points. Things are going quite well, aren't they? We were playing a team, Juggerpole or something like that. We fell behind after 18 minutes. And it was 2-0 in the 33rd minute, before an own goal made it 3-0 at half-time, before Boskovic pulled one back. Dugapolji something along those lines is how I'm going to guess to say that. Now, this was a game that I learned a lot in this game. We were terrible first half. Second half, we went to the 4-3-3 that we used at Grindavik. If you are watching that, and if anybody is watching from Grindavik, really scary with the volcano there. Hopefully everybody at the club is safe and well, but I'm assuming everybody's moved on. But anyway, no, in all seriousness, I hope everybody in Grindavik is safe and well. But yeah, we went to that formation in the second half. They were a gegenpressing side, and you can see just from the XG that they offered nothing once we did that, and we were a lot better. So yeah, definitely learned a lot from this game. Even if it was our first defeat, it wasn't completely useless as a game. So let's go and have a look and see the table. And there it is there. We are joint top with Brdo. Well, I'm not quite sure how you... Bijelo Brdo. And that was actually the other club I was looking at being coming into the series. I ended up going with Jarun because they were Zagreb, and we could try and, take over Dinamo in their own town. So yeah, that's the first game we have is at home to them. That's going to be huge. And then we've got a cup tie against this team. Varteks, I guess, is how we would be pronouncing that one. So yeah, that's who we've got coming up in the cup. But first things first, league action, top of the table clash. And we are expecting a 4-2-3-1 formation out of them. And this is the team that we will be sending out. Savatovic goes in goal. Now, he was injured. It's the first time we've seen him. The big bonus to this guy is he counts as one of the under-21 players, and he is arguably our best goalkeeper, though we haven't really been getting performances out of him. Karamadec, Perkovic, and Bikanic are going to be the back four. Huljic, who's been absolutely brilliant as a right wing back for us, with Radjakovic as the wing backs. Dashka, Boskovic, and Kukovica will be in midfield. Prenic and Algul will be the two up front. You can see there's a lot of players on the bench that are lacking match sharpness. I probably need to start scheduling some friendlies, I think, to get these guys up to speed. Alright, so we can see the team sheets there. Now, I believe that there is an Australian that plays for this club, but I'm not sure where or what position. So hopefully, hopefully it's not someone that's going to come back and haunt me here. It's important to make advantage of our home ground advantage. Let's go with that. Yeah, I mean, this is two teams that weren't really expected to do much come the start of the year that are sitting at the top of the table. And so it's going to be interesting to see, who it is that comes out on top. Home ground for us, you'd like to think. You'd like to think that we could take advantage of that, but yeah, time will tell. Just a big thank you to everybody who's been watching so far. Lots of comments, which is brilliant. Not just for me to read through, but also to feed the algorithm. Yeah, so make sure that keeps coming. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I will always try and respond to comments. Every now and again, I don't see one, and I apologize for that. But for the most part, I will try to respond to any comment that you take the time to leave. So let's see what we can do here. Is this one of these games where we think, maybe a draw is not the worst thing? I mean, you always want to try and win. If there's one thing that I think the beta, that's a good header down by Boskovic, and can we make advantage of this? There's Radjakovic to Algul. Kukovica was just starting to make a run, wasn't he? And in the end, he's got his pocket pick there, and we're going back the other way. Come on, boys. We should win that. No, Karamadec. Oh, we're just a little bit all at sea. Defensively, again, we've been picked apart. And we go 1-0 down early on at home. And yeah, again, it's defensively, it's not quite all there for us. I wonder... I mean, Karamadec kind of left his man, didn't he? And that's drawn Perkovic out of position. And we just never really recovered from that. Goalkeeper, again, not maybe covering himself in glory. But there we go. We have made a bit of a habit of going 1-0 down in games, to be fair. So, it's not all done yet. But I think if there's one thing that the Chelsea series, sort of in that early access period, taught me, hopefully everybody as well. Here, that's a nice little bit of play there for Kukovica, and we're level almost instantly. And Prenic, as that deep lying forward, he's absolutely just... I'm falling in love. I think we already have my first man crush of the series. He has just been that good. Kukovica is more or less played Babic out of the side, but Prenic, just nice. It was just nice ball movement, wasn't it? And that is a much better goal than theirs. To be fair, both goals have been pretty good, haven't they? So, yeah, let's see where we go from here now. 1-1 in the 10th minute. Huljic has got his customary booking. He's like Reece James. He just seems to be booked every game. As Cross comes in. Oh, post saves it. Karamantic on a booking. We are struggling. I think we might be, in hindsight, a centre-back short. I gave Luke Smolio a game here or there, and his positioning isn't great. Everything else about him is fantastic, or for our level, it's fantastic. But I really don't like that positioning. But then Karamantic is not really doing much better. Kukovica has got a knock. What sort of knock has he got? Let's get Babic on. We don't want to risk anything too serious there. Al Ghul has possession, one in a good area. Al Ghul again to Boskovic. We go back to Karamantic. Dashka. Dashka gets it forward. That's a good ball. Babic gets it wide. Look at the space we have with Radojovic. He gets the ball in. Surely Al Ghul is there. He gets his 4th of the year. And well, he wants to assess his contract options at the end of the season. And surely, if we find ourselves getting promoted this year, it has to be said against all odds, he would be very interested in staying with us. Decent-ish first touch. Did make it of quite the angle on himself. But he managed to tuck it away. It's 2-1. And yet again, we've gone behind early and found our way back into the lead of the game, which is promising that we can do that. Just ideally, you know, we'd be a little bit better defensively. But that's okay. Let's don't get complacent. Let's get back out there. Goalkeeper. I'm not loving the goalkeeper. I mean, we've got to look at the level that we're at. We're not going to have a Puyol in goal, are we? Like we did at the end there with Grindovic. They're going to be a little bit suspect at times. I'd feel a little bit better about it, I think, if he was our player and not a loanee. The fact he's a loanee makes me feel like he's making mistakes for us, for somebody else to benefit from, which is the purpose of them sending him out on loan in the first place, isn't it? So that's fine on that front, but yeah, it's just doesn't make the mistakes any easier to handle, that's for sure. Now, what is going to become of this? Can Karamantic not get himself sent off? He does okay in the end, holds it up. He's only playing a 6-4 and on a booking, so we might actually just make a change there, and we might, Huljic can come off for Filipovic as well. And that, I'm not sure how many subs we get. We've got a corner though. Decent ball, floated in. It's a good header. It might be an own goal, I think. It is an own goal. I think it was either Smoljo or it was Bikenic who got it ahead to the ball. Either way, it's 3-1. We'll get a better idea here who it is. And good ball into the back post. I still don't know who it was. Oh, headed by Boskovic. He does have a very good leap. And he should... I guess you don't get an assist for an own goal, do you? But you'd be a little bit annoyed if you leapt like that and came away with nothing for it. And we've got another highlight here. Free kick with Prenic to take. If we get another goal, surely that is that. Al Ghul across there. Pjanic has a little bit of space. He cuts in. Is he going to find us? Oh, I love him. I love him. I love him. Jakov Prenic gets our 4th. And the top of the table clash is very, very much going our way. Boskovic is looking tired. I have used up my subs, so we must only get 3, or maybe the last 2 took place at different times. But what about Pjanic there? He worked his space, and then the shot at the end of it as well. It's just beautiful to watch, isn't it? So we'll give them some praise. The game is done and dusted. Are they going to get one back late on here? Not through that one, they're not. And, well, let's see. Excuse me, what becomes of this highlight from here then? We get it forward. Ghul knocks it down to Babic, who gets his pocket picked. And floated cross. It is away by Perkovic. Good header, actually, to be fair there. And still, they come forward. Oh, he's there again. He's there again. There's got to be 3 of them on the field. Pjanic, or Prenjic, or whatever his name is, absolutely brilliant. Perkovic heading it away nicely. He was my signing. And... well, that would have been quite the strike, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, it's hit the crossbar and been cleared away. And we have another corner. Babic to take. Again towards the back post. Again, we're putting a lot of pressure on them from a corner, aren't we? And are we going to be able to stop the counter-attack here? We might, ideally, need an extra player back at times here. But they've managed to spring us on the break, get one back. Junior Sunday Lang. You've got to love the African names, don't you? They're just brilliant. So that's a stoppage time goal. It's not going to change the destination of the 3 points. But, yeah, it's a good finish as well, isn't it? we've got some players that are quite tight in there as well. But like I say, it doesn't matter. We've won the game. We will go clear top. How big the lead is will depend on some other results. But what a start this has been. What a start. So it is 3 points clear. Dugapoli was... just go with it for now. I'll try and learn them as we go. But yeah, they've won. So they go joint second with Brdo and Solon. Now, Solon, the striker, Cargbo is not the Cargbo that we had at H&W Welders. I think it was 3 to 5 weeks for Kukovica, so that's not great. I think it was Gordy in the comments that pointed it out. It was Hamza Cargbo that we had at Welders. So yeah, not quite the reunion there that I thought we were going to have. But anyway, that is fantastic. The cup's up next. It doesn't really matter how we do in the cup if we're going to get the league done and dusted, but it would be nice to win a few ties, wouldn't it? All right, welcome back. We are getting ready to face Varteks. They are a lower league side. I'm not sure how far down they are. I've just got the top two, the two default leagues are the one I have loaded up, so I'm not sure how far down they are. Now, one thing I did look at, which was a little bit disappointing, if we go and have a look at rules for the cup, and I'm just purely looking at this in terms of prize money, there is none. Even if you get all the way to the final, there doesn't appear to be any prize money for this. So that being the case, how far we go, I mean, obviously there's a European spot on the line, but outside of that, there's nothing really in it for us. I mean, there's obviously gate receipts and things like that. Now, I don't know if it's a 50-50 split or however it works in the UK. I don't know if that's the case or not, but ultimately, we're not going to win it realistically. So I'm not too bothered if we go in, stay out, whatever it is that happens. So we're expecting a 3-4-3 from these guys, and this is the team that we are sending out. And yes, you will notice changes because we've got a league game coming up. This is the Wednesday league game coming up on the Saturday. That right now is much more important to us. So we keep with the same goalkeeper, Seratovic. Then we've got Ibanez, Bikanic, Smolio, and Filipovic as the back four. Marinic is going to come in and be the deep-lying playmaker. I don't think we've seen him before. Then we've got Stripic as the advanced playmaker, 18-year-old. He is on loan to us, so we'll see how he does. Kabržić, again, another loanee. Don't think that he has played for us yet. Maybe one or two off the bench. Then we've got Zeljovic, one of our players, as a right-sided winger. We've got Stanic, who is on loan to us as the left-sided winger. And then Tadic, our 35-year-old. He's going to go up top and hopefully going to prove to me that he is 36 now, that he's not past it. All right, so we can see the team sheets there. I don't recognize any names in their lineup. Now, they weren't a completely grayed out side, which is why I'm not sure exactly how far down they are. Let's stick to the game plan here. We are away from home. I don't know if that's a rule of the competition or if we've just happened to be drawn away to the lower league team. Oh, I'm caught scratching my nose again with no pre-game. I've got cat hairs, honestly. If you're new to the channel, I constantly have cat hairs up my nose. It's ridiculous. But here we go. It's going to be a game we should win. But like I say, with no prize money, I don't really see. We've got to get ourselves, promoted and start building up the club to get in towards getting into European qualification and sort of actual money in the club. So if there's no money here for us, yeah, what we haven't had yet is a test against a top flight side. Now Sibanek, who we played second game last episode, are newly relegated, but I don't know again how much they've had players drop out or not. Stripic, let's put it just over. Now the other thing we've got to remember here with this team, or our team I should say, is that there is a lot of loanees. At the end of this season, we are going to lose the majority of our squad. The players that are opting to wait in their contract before making a decision, you kind of have to assume that they're going to leave. If we get promoted, then maybe we could convince our Gould to stay. But Tadic at 36, I'm not worried about him, to be honest, as the cross gets floated in. Not the greatest goalkeeping, and ball comes back in. Stanic to Tadic, taps it in. Is he onside? It looks like he is, and 36 years young. He goes and gives us a nice early lead in this one. So the rotated side is we're getting away with it so far, as we should. Let's be honest, we are playing a lower league side, but a good ball in by Stanic. Nice touch there by Tadic, and it's 1-0. So yeah, we'll see, how we do when we face the top flight side, and then we've got to bear in mind that we are going to lose players. And these loanees, they are players that obviously aren't good enough to be in top flight sides right now, and they are more or less our best players. So yeah, that's not a concern. I mean, you'd expect top flight teams to be better than us right now anyway, but given how little money we have, a small stadium, you do worry a little bit that if we were to get promoted, and it is still a big if, because as we saw with the Chelsea season, ups and downs, just see it's like flicking a switch. It was, the way that it was working for me. One game we'd be beaten thoroughly, and then we'd turn up the next week and win 5-0. So here we go with Tadic again. He's got his second, and maybe there is some life in the old dog yet. 2-0 before half-time, and I'd like to say if we defend properly, but we haven't defended properly yet this season. So yeah, we'll live in hope of that. But nice little ball in there by Kabrajic, and yeah, Tadic is looking good in front of goal, as you would expect. I saw he had 22 under 21 caps for Croatia, and I think it was 5 or 6 goals. So if you're playing 22 times for the Croatian, I mean, Croatia is a very good youth side, typically speaking, aren't they? So to get 22 caps for them, and that would have been 36. He'd be the era of Modric, wouldn't he? And so we've got another one, and it is Zuljic. Jesus, Zuljic. It's got his first of the season on debut, so it is his first for the club. And that is that. Now, the transfer window has closed. I did actually mean to mention this at the top. Now, we, in terms of Croatia as a whole, had the most signings in. So we had the biggest turnover of players. I'd love to know, and I don't know if there's even a way to find this out, but if in real life, I have obviously researched the club a little bit. A lot of the stuff, because they are so small, it's in Croatian, and I can't even get their website. I couldn't find a way for, and it's probably just me being useless, but I couldn't find a way for Google Translate to sort of translate their website. Usually it pops straight up for me to, do I want to translate a website? Mostly it's porn, to be honest, and very little needs to be translated. But in serial seriousness, usually, a website it'll say, do you want to translate it? You'll get sort of a rough translation, but it wouldn't do that. So I don't know if they did in real life just turn professional as Smoljo just over the top. So yeah, I don't know if they did just turn professional, and that's why it's such a high turnover of players. I don't know if it is just, Tadic has a hat-trick. Is he onside for this one? That one looked a little bit suspicious, but maybe surprisingly for a team called Vartek, there is no Varchek. Here all week. Absolutely make myself crack up sometimes. No, he was on. That was fine. And yeah, there we go. It is. I love my VAR joke. That was brilliant. If my wife is outside and can hear me, she'll be shaking her head right now like, what, you idiot, you absolute moron. Right, what was I saying? Can't even remember now. Oh, we've got an injury. So Stanic is not looking too healthy there. So we'll bring on somebody who can play out wide. And that's fine. Unpause. Given that he's got a hat-trick, maybe let's give him a rest and we'll get on Butar, who was... there's so many. We have so many. If you've watched episode 1, you will know this. But sort of strikers, wide players, to the point where the squad is just massively imbalanced with players like that. Here we go. Zorjovic has done a brilliant run, and that would have been a goal of the season contender, I dare say. But in the end, just couldn't find the target. But yeah, this Marco Batur, a lot of potential there on loan again from Lokomotiva. So we'll see what he can do. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting. I mean, we've got to get to the off season first. That is just wide. But when we get to the off season, it's going to be very interesting. I'm still kind of thinking that we will be in this division, but the longer that we go, and the more teams that we beat, and yes, we had a defeat sort of last game before this episode. But I did, as I said at the time, I did learn a lot from that, and we bounced straight back with a good win against the team that was top. So if we can keep doing that, and it is going to be about consistency, then there's no reason why we couldn't go up, I suppose. But typically, I mean, we saw with Grindovic, I had such a hard time, and so I think it was the same with Welders as well. A really, really hard time getting promoted to the top flight. But then maybe this team is sort of most similar. Oh, that's not great, is it? I think the challenge of this series, and there was a comment to this as well, an episode, last episode maybe it must have been, or maybe episode 1. The challenge to this, I think, is most similar to Queen of the South in that we're already a professional team, so that takes that need to build up the money and turn professional out of the question for us. But I think for us to get into the top flights and then be able to compete, because we are so small, is going to be harder than Queen of the South, arguably harder than any series we've had, because I think we're going to be that much smaller than the other teams in Croatia. I mean, even this team's stadium is bigger than ours. As chance for Kabrajic, and he gets himself a goal. Last kick of the game probably, and it's 5-1. We move on to, I think it's as far as the quarterfinals. I think this was a round of 16. So yeah, I think that challenge is going to be interesting, and then obviously to get to the top, we had Rangers and Celtic to overcome in Scotland, whereas here it is just Dinamo Zagreb, but they are a bit of a giant, aren't they? They're competitive at the top of European football, so it's going to be very, very tough for us to sort of overhaul them as well. But hopefully we'll get there, and we've just dismantled a lower league side there. So 5-star Jarun triumph. I don't think we have a draw yet for the next round. Stanic is a bruised ankle, so he's fine. Kabrajic got his, so there was quite a few debutants in that one. We dominate. Tadic with a hat-trick and an assist. He looked very good up there as that lone striker, and maybe if that is a way we need to play it at times, Tadic as that lone striker, maybe not the worst idea there. So that is that. We will come back. Do we come back now for the next round of the cup? Maybe we do. Yeah, so let's do that. We'll come back for Zrinski, 1664, and it makes me want a Cronenberg. And then we will come back for the second round. We don't know who it is yet. I'll post on the Discord. There's a link to that in the description. Who it is we've got, in the Facebook as well. So yeah, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. 9 goals scored, 3 conceded, advanced in the cup, sitting top of the league. It's all going pretty well, isn't it? Take care.